You what?
Today, we're going to be talking about the blonde gay man gene. This was originally going to be the blonde gay man archetype video, but after doing a first run through of the video, I was like, no, I think we need to go a little bit more deeper into them genes. I have done somewhat extensive research into each relationship that I'm going to be talking about today, except for the origin of what I believe is the hoyo blonde gay man gene, and that is Void Archives and Welt. Well, I'm not talking about that Void Archives. Well, technically, yes, he is. That is what he looks like. And no, I'm not talking about Alucard Castlevania. No, get that man out of here. Yeah, I'm talking about that Void Archive. Anyway, I believe the origination of the hoyoverse blonde gay man gene originates from Void Welt. Or if you're crazy enough, it's actually Oto Welt. I'm not like a super duper expert in the honkai lore, specifically the original Honkai 2 and then the Honkai Impact the Third lore. Like, that's like a Bible. That's a whole thing, and I'm not like the biggest expert in that field. So if there is any Void Welt experts, then I am asking you for your expertise. Please tell me in the comments, even if it's like a whole as AO3, I will read that entire thing front to back, and I will comment, wow, that was huge. Like, legit, I didn't even know that Void or Oto existed. Like, the only character I knew from Honkai Impact the Third was Kiana. So, you know, when Lord Cha and Honkai Star Rail came out and everyone was like, oh my god, holy shit, it's Oto, I was like, who? So, from my very limited Wikipedia, well, not even technically Wikipedia knowledge, the fandom wiki knowledge, oh hell no, of Void Archives, and I do know quite a bit about Welt Yang. I mean, like, who doesn't know about Unk? But every time I try to ask Unk about Mr. Oto Void Archives apocalypse, he goes into like what can only be described as that cat meme. He's like, well, I'd rather not talk about my previous lover. Like, their relationship must have been so crazy that, like, literally seeing a man that quite literally almost looks like him on a lofu sends him straight to Vietnam. Like, that, it must have been some crazy ass shit, man. Looking into hoyoverse's blonde gay man Jesus here, Void Archives is actually this cube, and this cube is like SpongeBob's library, and he's supposed to be like the Honkai equivalent of a god or some shit like that. I'm not too sure. What's important is that he did a deal with Oto, and that deal like required Void Archives to be inside Oto's brain or some shit like that. When Oto finally died, Void Archives took one of Oto's body replicas and took it as his own. So Void Archives sounds like Oto, and his personality is pretty close, but he's not insane. Like, even when Void Archives meets Welt in this body form for the first time, Welt's like, what the fuck? I thought you died. What the fuck? Like, Void Archives heavily fucks with Welt. But Welt's like, I don't know, man. It seems to be very present in the blonde gay man gene that Hoyo has created, is that these blonde men are very cunning, like fox-worthy cunning, where they will bend their acknowledgement of anything that they already know so that they can get one step above wherever they need to be. And in this case, Void Archives and Welt Yang were both collabing together because they had one common goal. What's important is that this man is smart. A little bit too smart. Like, this man was outsmarting Unk, and Unk is like the smartest guy I know. So, like, I'm a little worried. As I mentioned earlier, Void Archives is like the blonde gay man Jesus, because a couple years after this entire Honkai lore dump, we jump into Genshin Impact, and then we get alhaitham. And everyone's like, oh my god, I need to attend this college because I promise I'm doing studying, because I'm doing a lot of studying in the library, because we've got a lot of open books. And then, a couple months after alhaitham releases, we find out he has a roommate!
And they were roommates.
Oh my God, they were roommates.
Not only did Kaveh break the game, quite literally, but a lot of people were getting back into Genshin Impact when they found out that the hot librarian that they were going to school for actually had a roommate. Before we go into Kaveh, figuratively, I'm not the biggest Genshin Impact expert either. I know you can stop your booing. I did watch Kaveh and alhaitham bicker at each other for maybe like 30 minutes straight, it feels like. A lot of people believe that the blonde gay man gene originates from alhaitham and Kaveh. But if we've seen the video, we already know that Void Archives and Welt were f***ing way before these two were even conceived. What I find interesting is that the intelligence passed down from Void Archives is less cunning and more on the sides of, what's the opposite of cunning? Kaveh gets ideas into his head, and due to his ideology, oh, that's a big ass word, that's gonna come into play later, I already feel it. Because of his ideologies of getting stuff done as he sees fit, he ends up getting slapped by reality, and then he is now in debt, and then that's why he's roommates with alhaitham because he has no money. Alhaitham and Kaveh's relationship is a lot similar to like a bickering couple where they bicker at each other because they love each other and they know each other's faults down to a T. Like alhaitham and Kaveh literally both went to college and they were best friends, and then they graduated, and then they had a falling out because they didn't see eye to eye. But alhaitham was still nice enough to make sure that Kaveh wasn't homeless. If alhaitham hated Kaveh's guts, do you really think alhaitham would let Kaveh live in the same house that he does? I don't think so. I just wanted to take note of that because that seems to be a pattern between the next two blonde gay men that I'm going to be talking about. But that, I don't think, is something that is genetic. And that just seems to be a pattern that Hoyo just likes writing. What I do believe is genetic and was changed right here with Kaveh and alhaitham is their eye colors. If we look at Void Archive's eye color, which is technically Oto Apocalypse's eye color, it's like this light green color, which is nice, but in the grand scheme of anime eyes, it's not like super impressive. And that gene was passed down to Kaveh as well, with this dark red amber-ish color, which again, nice to look at, but not really crazy impressive. And because Welt didn't introduce anything too crazy into the gene pool, it seemed that the dominant trait in the blonde gay man gene was going to be having very basic eye colors until alhaitham showed up. The first thing that people probably saw when they saw alhaitham was his chest. His eyes are like this deep emerald color, along with his irises being this copper amber finish, and then his pupil is white. So it's like, oh, okay, we got some flavor in our eyeball colors. All right, Hoyo, I see you. Due to alhaitham's and Kaveh's constant bickering at each other, and then they start getting into fights, and then they start fighting at home, and then those fights start having less clothes on. It seems to have changed the gene, at least on a physical level. Dr. Ratio jump scare, and then we get him for free. Wait a minute. A hot professor that makes me want to go to college and attend his classes because he's super hot. I feel like I'm getting a sense of deja vu. The blonde gay man that wipes up the professor. That's right. We just wrote another one. Another blonde gay man. Boy, howdy. Did aventurine take up the mantle in Kaveh's place, because he inherited all of that sexiness and some. His cunningness is so good, it got some of the player base to think that Dr. Ratio betrayed aventurine, even though Dr. Ratio was in it the entire time. Come on, reading, guys, we gotta read. By the way, I think we should give Dr. Ratio some flowers for telling Sunday that he was as insane as aventurine, and because of that, he needed to go see a therapist, and then going through with aventurine's plan, and it still worked! And we already know what aventurine's eye color looks like. It is not Kaveh's or Void Archives by like a mile. This man inherited all of alhaitham's sexy as well. So much so that it literally became part of aventurine's plot story, where Jade came in and was like, girl, you're gonna have to start wearing some shades because people are gonna come after your eyes, both literally and figuratively. Other than his cunningness, like quite literally his entire backstory of being lucky and using his luck as a literal bargaining chip up to the point where we meet him, and then afterwards of Penacony, it doesn't seem like Aventurine and Dr. Ratio added anything to the gene other than making sure that the traits that this gene does have stayed really strong. If anything, I don't know if these two even had time to mess around with each other. Well, okay, I do think that there was a brief period of time when Aventurine came back and Dr. Ratio was like, oh my god, I can't believe you did some crazy ass shit like that, to the point where you got like fucking exiled by Acheron. And then there was some, I know it was nasty in that room. Whoever had to clean up after that, ooh lord. Now that I think about it, that must have been the only time Dr. Ratio and Aventurine must have messed around, because one, Dr. Ratio is a doctor and this man is big brain after all, so he probably knows a few ways how to get around the male biology. So that's how Aventurine got knocked up and then he had to go on maternity leave. Two, that's how we got Dr. Ratio and Aventurine's illegitimate son, Luuk. They couldn't let Hoyoverse know that they had a son behind Hoyoverse's back, so they just had to give their son to Kuro, and Kuro was like, don't worry, G, we got it. Illegitimate children aside, we are updated to this current year, where we have Mr. Hugo Vlad himself. While we did not go for 3 for 3 for another blonde gay man falling in love with somebody that's in the school system, this man got it all though. This man got the blonde hair. This man is cutting like a fox. Man, the only thing that's straight about this man is that he suffers from heterochromia. That's the only thing that's straight about this man. For like the 3 people that don't know about Hugo Vlad, this man is super cunning. He's not like on the same levels as Aventurine. Oh boy, I would love to see a chess game between Hugo Vlad and Aventurine. Ooh lord. Hugo like literally faked his death right in front of somebody that he views as his own sister. And then like Vivian, the little sister in question, literally bought it. Was like, oh my god, he literally died. All for a plan that wasn't as convoluted as Aventurine's plan, but like Hugo Vlad did have to go through like his own episode of therapy just so that he could confront his his terrible ass and be like, you know what, you fucked up, you messed up, and you're gonna get everything taken away from you. And then he left instead of killing him because he's not like that. And then like Von Lycaon and Hugo like made up with each other, and then like and then puppies. Let me talk about the 2 that I think I need to make an entirely different video for. Varka, Genshin Impact, and Mighty Honkai Star. Now, I tried to avoid this topic because it's kind of goofy, but each blonde gay man is starting from Void, because Void's body is basically Oto's body. If you look at your screen right now.
Hell no.
There's a pattern, okay? When it comes to the body archetype of the hoyoverse blonde gay man. Mighty and Varka just doesn't necessarily fit that gene. And that's the reason why I didn't mention these 2. And also the relationship that they have with their gay lover, or at least I think with Varka, because a lot of people are shipping Varka with Vins, isn't the same as the previous 4 mentioned. Yes, Mighty and Finon do bicker at each other. However, their bickering kind of feels different, where Mighty's like, oh, well, Finon is just kind of like a bro, and you have to come in and like hold him on the shoulder and be like, man, Mighty, I don't know how else to tell you this, but like that man is not just a bro. That man wants you so bad. And even though we already know the relationship between Finon and Mighty, or vice versa, whoever you want to be on top or bottom or whatever, those 2 are switches, okay? I think we're gonna need a couple more story updates in Genshin to see if Varka's de facto gay relationship is going to be with Vins, because in total we've got like 5 minutes between these 2, and granted 5 minutes is just enough. So I like to see where hoyoverse take these two, and if it's not going to be these two, I wonder if they're going to take Varka somewhere else. Before this video is over, I do want to mention that the original take for this video, I was going to go all the way back to 2017 with Granblue Fantasy, and I was going to talk about Vane Granblue Fantasy, because if we wanted to talk about the beginnings of the blonde gay man gene, then Vane is technically the de facto first blonde gay man in gacha game history ever. But then I found that trying to place his genes with the genes that he's messing around with his quote-unquote best friend. Like, literally hear this out. The captain that everyone wants to be and the vice captain who supports him have a relationship that extends beyond friendship. As knights, they strive to become more powerful with each day. And the more research I did into Vane and Lancelot's relationship, they're just so wholesome, man. Like, Lancelot believes in Vane because Vane doesn't believe in himself, and then Vane looks out a lot for Lancelot's health because that man is a workaholic. They balance each other out, and then it's like the best friends into the lovers trope, and then again, brothers in arms. What could be gayer than that? I just thought that Lancelot's and Vane's relationships between those two were just so vastly different between Hoyo versus blonde gay men, so that's why I ended up negating Vane entirely. Also, I don't know what happened between 2014 to 2019 when Lancelot and Vane started testing their strengths against each other in different ways other than just battle, where the result is Otto 5 years later, where he lost all the muscle mass that Vane had. So if there was a hope that this video does get a follow-up video, and it was Vane, Varka, and Mighty, and who knows, maybe Luuk does end up getting into a relationship with another man, and then Kuro Games releases a beefy blonde man. I don't know, who knows, Quincy? But look at them, they're so cute. Oh my god, we need some more wholesome yaoi, man.